Hello everybody, my name is CraigBennettII, and today I'm going to show you how to set up your motion detectors on SmartThings to broadcast a message throughout your Google Home system. Now, it's important to note this, there is a way to actually do an actual broadcast, the command broadcast, but the problem is Google's broke that. It's on Google's side right now. So what we're going to be doing is a cast, like when you're casting music or whatever. So right now, until Google has fixed that, and this might be the better way to go because you can actually add bell sounds and all the other stuff with that, is in fact, let me play what I have so you can hear. Give it a second or two.
Someone is at the front door.
So in case you didn't hear that, basically the cast started, it played the bell sound, and basically it done a text speech which I set up for it. So and it said someone's at front door. So big thing to note with that is that might be the better way to go. I'll leave down in the description files that you can use the bell sound, and also the actual that file itself so you can hear it and use it if you want. And I'll leave links down below to all this other stuff. Another thing notes is reason why I tried to deal with this in the first place is I noticed on one of my cameras when I was getting some mail, I just happened to see it, is the mail person, they pushy tap the doorbell button. And what that basically means, for those who don't know, is that they basically felt the doorbell button but didn't even really push it in. And I thought maybe the doorbell was broken. I went out, checked, found that no, that he's basically felt it. So instead of me teaching someone how to actually use something properly, since most of the time mail people don't even use the doorbell, why not just set up a motion detector as a doorbell on top of the doorbell that's already there. And the benefit to this is you can actually get email alerts and all the other stuff. With that, I'm not going to set that part up because it's pretty simple to do that. But the thing to note with that is it goes by activity. When the activity starts, which means the motion is detected, if motion keeps getting detected, it doesn't keep ringing the doorbell or through the Google Home speakers. But when the motion stops and it doesn't see any motion, and then motion happens again, then it rings it once again. So there's a big thing to note with that is if the mail person's doing their thing, you're not going to get 5 or 6 times. You're just going to get that one. So a physical doorbell might still be worthwhile. So with that one in mind, what you're going to need is, first things first, is you will need to have some type of device that stays on all the time. I'm going to be using a Windows computer. You can use a Raspberry Pi. I'll leave a link down below on how to install Node.js on Raspberry Pi. But with a Windows computer, it's pretty straightforward, and you just install it, and there you go. What you need to do is go and open up Command Prompt already. I'm not going to show you how to do that. But what you also need to do is go to the following page. You need to click on each one of these, and basically you need to go to the following page. And what we're going to do is, once you log in, go to My Device Handler, go to Create a New Device Handler, go to From Code, and this first one, it will give you a whole list of code. Just copy paste it in there. It's pretty simple. And for the other two, what you want to do is go to the My Smart Apps, go to New Smart Apps. It's the same interface as this, and then go to From Code and just copy and paste those into the individually. And this last one, I really couldn't get it to work, but it's very simple on how to set this stuff up, especially how I do it. Now, with that one in mind, how I'm doing it, it requires an internet connection, all the other stuff. So this may not be 100% the best method, but I really don't feel like learning web core. So, and if I do make it more localized, which I'm probably going to end up doing anyways, then I'll probably make a video to show you how to do that. But as time, what we're going to do is go to the following link, the GitHub page, In the command prompt, what you want to do is copy and paste that in, or your Raspberry Pi, whatever it may be, copy and paste that in. Don't worry about the $sign, just do everything afterwards, and then go all the way down. Basically with this, this shows you the IP address, and yours is going to be different, so don't worry about that. But basically it's going to show you the IP address probably of your computer or Raspberry Pi, so use that. Make sure of that, but go all the way down, and once you get down to this stage, we're going to start getting into the links. Now at this point you will need to know your devices, your speakers, what was their IP address. So for simplicity's sake, I just took all the devices I have out and just kept one. And what you need is the IP address itself. So from here, put in that IP address, the port number, and then /get devices. And this gives you a whole list of Google devices on your Chromecast devices, and also your Google Home speaker devices that's on your network. So with that, just note the name, the friendly name, so to speak, and also note the IP address. Don't worry about the port number. And what you need is to go back down here and just note the request and so on. So I'm just going to leave a link down below to this following one, and it's that thing that I played earlier. But basically, if you go through here, you need to make sure that you have the right IP address for your device, and also the IP address for the computer or Raspberry Pi. So from here, if you want to use my method past this point, you need to get dynamic DNS. Basically, no IP. It's a pretty good one. It's a free service. You just gotta say, yeah, I still want this after every 30 days. But what a dynamic DNS does is your outside IP address is going to change constantly. And the thing is you need to have a way for external services from your house to contact the internal services in your house. And because of this, there's going to be a little bit of delay. This is why I'm probably going to be doing local lines whenever we get a bit more time to work on this. But basically, you would have, for the dynamic DNS, you need to set port forwarding on your router, and note that the internal port needs to be 3000. The external port, you just need to note that. You can leave at 3000, you can do 2000, it doesn't really matter as long as it doesn't conflict with another port. But basically what this says with port forwarding is when you put the dynamic DNS address into there and do the port forwarding address, this tells it the entire address in the port that you're trying to go for, so it's as if you were putting that. So this is a big thing that you got to note, and if you don't know how to do that, then I'm not going to show it, because honestly that's pretty simple. And the fact of the matter is if you have trouble setting that up, then you might want to stay away from doing this altogether. But let's say that you got that set up right. Well, what you need to do now is go to Ifttt and go to the following link down below, and it will take you to the dashboard side of things, so you can make your own code. And what you need to do is go to New App and go to SmartThings. Oops. Go to SmartThings and go to any new motion. Go ahead and leave that blank if you want. Go to add, go to web hooks. And what this does is this sends a request, whatever. And what you can do is you can leave that, you can add that, so you can let the user add whatever. But basically what you're doing here is you would put this address into there, but with the dynamic DNS stuff at the start. So like this very front part, what I'll put is a dynamic DNS address and the port that it'll be going to for the port forwarding. And what that says is I want to go to my personal address, and then for the port forwarding, it however I have it set up, it'll say go to this specific address with the port on this particular network. So note that. Also note the IP address for the device itself. So just note that. But you can put that there or let your user to do it. I would suggest that you just go ahead and put that there, and instead of making it public, you can make a couple dozen of these for whatever amount of devices you have, and then just go all the way down to the bottom and press save. From there, let me go back. From there, let's say something like this. You can do copy and just keep copying it over. So like for example, right here, I can go all the way down and rename it, reduce a few parts. So switch out the IP addresses for the other speakers, and go from there. Now to use it on your side without publicizing it, just hit the enable it on Ifttt, and what that will do is that will, in fact, I can show you right here with this particular one. Basically what that will do is this will allow you to actually go ahead and use the thing itself. Now if you want to make it public, you can go ahead and do that, but just make sure that the this address is nowhere near it, otherwise it will be spamming. Someone else doing this will spam your devices and they'll cause problems. So just note that you can easily cause problems by making this stuff public, because people who don't know what they're doing, they'll run into some problems, and they'll be accidentally triggering your speakers with their devices on accident or maybe on purpose. But once you got it all set up, as I show right here,
Someone is at the front door.
so let's turn that crap off. But anyways, it should work. Now it's important to note that you need to hook this up per speaker, so you're gonna have to make it per, with the copy feature, per speaker. But as far as the motion detector itself, because your input is like for example right here, I can say the following motion detector, then do whatever. Because of that, you don't need to do backflips for that, but it's just per speaker, since each speaker has its own individual IP address. Anyways, hopefully this has helped you out into doing this, and that way you can use it either in the same fashion or whatever fashion that you want. Again, you can do quite a bit, and if you go down this list, there's quite a few other things you can do, but most practical thing I can think of is a doorbell. But if you got any questions, anything else, then feel free to leave that down in the comment section, and I'll try to get back to you as quickly as possible. And leave a like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you next video. Have a great day.